that's where the collaboration comes in. Procurement can look at it and say, I like the structure, or you haven't considered this. Where are your,
Right.
dependencies, or what sort of team is
Yep.
going to be needed to deliver this?
Yep. Yep.
And so once you've the customer has a responsibility for that origination. In an ideal world, who then do you think has responsibility of kind of carrying the ball forward from there with the requirement specification? Is it something that should sit with procurement to pull in other stakeholders, or is that it's still down to the customer?
Well, it depends on how your organization is structured. And okay, so I'm going to talk ideal world, and then I'm going to talk real world. So in the ideal world, the business is going to be collaborating with IT and all this before procurement's even involved. Honestly, I feel like we're tangential to that. I know that most people in procurement don't have the background that I have. I know that they're not going to be able to say, oh, hey, do you think you have enough testing in here? Or things like that. They're not probably going to be able to say that. However, and in an ideal world, I want them all to collaborate, but I know that just doesn't happen organically, just because I know a lot of organizations go, well, we know exactly what we want. IT doesn't IT doesn't know what we want. They're a shared service, they're a cost center. They don't know what we want. They don't know how to make money, because a lot of times these projects are to do something to make money. Great. However, then they come up with pie in the sky, crazy stuff. So in the ideal world, I feel like the business should be driving that, and I know that doesn't happen. So the real world is that business comes up with their vision statement or whatever, and I'll push them for it. I'll say, hey, what's the problem you're trying to solve here? And then I try to get all the stakeholders to the table to discuss it. And a lot of times it's me getting in touch with the vendor going, okay, vendor, we've reviewed, and I'll just say, my company doesn't typically write our own SOW. So I'll usually get an SOW. They'll get the vision statement to the vendor. The vendor comes up with something, and I'll go, okay, here's the SOW. We took a look at it, and we want to sit down and discuss, here are the gaps that we're seeing, and we want to discuss this. We want to make sure that we're at a mutual understanding. And then also, whatever you discuss, you come to an understanding in any discussions and this or that with the vendor, with the business, whatever, and make sure that it's captured into the SOW. You want it to be captured in there so that it truly is that mutual understanding. So I get the people together, but ultimately I have no decision-making power. I don't have that. I try to get the people together and come to that agreement. So in procurement, that's really what I end up doing, is getting them to that mutual understanding and making sure the teeth and the governance and the compliance, all that good stuff is all built in there. So that's ultimately what I'm responsible for. I want it to be successful. Of course I do. I want to be on the team. A lot of times procurement doesn't really, they're only, did we fulfill the letter of the law? And that's not necessarily a successful project.
No,
And I'm all about what's a successful project.